Saturday night main event, shall we? Um, it is what it is. I'm not sure what I expected with this last Saturday night main event, but it had some choices where I didn't know what to think. It was just y'all know how I feel about Gunther. I don't think he's very interesting. If I was going to choose somebody with the same kind of technical status and fortitude, I would be choosing Ilya Dragunov. And with Gunther, he's not even the third most interesting person on Raw. So, person to pin John Cena because that would have been a nice bragging point off. But it is what it is. We really, like I said, it was just there. We got some really good moments, like we saw Joe Hendry pop up and do something with our crews against the Miz, Javon Evans and Leon Slater got to show out against AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, and AJ Styles had a really interesting botch there, slip off the top. Phenomenal. Soul Ruka wins with her match with Bayley, and I'm not sure I agree with that because I'm really tired of I know Bayley Becky has done this, but for Bayley, it just feels really egregious. I don't know what they had Zarya out there and Lyra, and I thought they would do something, but they didn't. And then the opener with Cody versus Oba Femi, that got interrupted by Drew, who was made to look like a complete geek again by getting his ass beat by Cody Rhodes and Oba Femi. I guess they're gonna start up some kind of maybe possible feud between Drew McIntyre and Oba Femi possibly next year if they ever decide to call him Oba Femi, but it's just like that was a good thing. That was a good match that was going and clicking until Drew McIntyre yes, senor, Zelina did botch last night. Oh, I need to talk about that too before I get into this. So it was just like with Zelina, I know she botched, and I kind of feel sorry for her because it's not like she's been wrestling a lot. So I'm gonna give her grace in this because she has had better matches, like with Morgan. So it's like with Rhea, she just is statuesque person. She throws around all the place, and I know Zelina had a death there. And like I said, I'm gonna give Zelina a lot of grace. She has not been wrestling. This is what live events are for. So I'm gonna give her grace. I'm not just gonna be saying, oh, she botched and she's doing this, because she's already been torn apart on the internet for said botch, and they already were mad at her for doing something that Joseph Reigns knows at Saturday Night Main Event like months ago. So I'm gonna give her a lot of grace. So yeah, but regarding that, what was the point of Damian and Rhea winning that match? You already have a spooky couple vibes in Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, and you have them lose. And that wasn't necessary. Now, maybe they could have, if they weren't gonna have Rhea lose, because she's met her lose quota mean, not have Zelina win. They could have did the finish. They could have did something there. Like, what does Damien get out of this? What does Rhea get out of this? They could have put, you know, if you're going to have somebody win, put Lola Rice in there. Have her fight, you know, in there with Zelina. Somebody that Zelina could be reasonably winning against because she's a call up from NXT. And then you could have had something going on there if they wanted to continue the feud, which is what they did. Or they want to anyway. But what's the point of them losing? I just have problems with, again, the turn twins of running over a newly established couple and Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. So what is Aleister Black and Zelina Vega do now to Damien? Like, they're going to keep hitting on him or something like that? If they wanted to be brave, they should have had Damien turn on Rhea during this match, so Damien joins up with Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. That's something that would have been new, and it would have been in line with what Aleister Black has been saying about Damien for all these weeks. You know, be bold like that. Give Damien his edge back. You know, maybe he can get recover some of his aura. But I just have problems with it. And again, I have major problems with women that can attack the men, and the men can't do anything. You know, I had that problem with Liv slapping Dom because he can't reciprocate. I have the same problem with Rhea headbutting Aleister Black. I don't like it. Oh, is the game too loud, Shadow? Oh, okay, sorry. I'm just Is that better, Shadow? My mic position might be a little bit off. Like, what happens when nothing can hear? But anyway. So, I'm talking into two different mics here. So, anyway, it's just, bring that back up. See if that's better. I'm gonna mute that a little bit, and then I'll go back there. Perfect. Thank you, Shadow. Yeah, so, all in all to say, Saturday Night Main Event was not what I expected. I'm not sure what I expected, but it was not that. John Cena, I think, should have went on a high note. I'm not sure if he should have won, but I think it should have been against, if he was going to lose, have it against somebody that needed the win, like a LA Knight. Even though I don't really roll with LA Knight, give it to somebody that could have used the bump if Cena just absolutely had to lose. And like I said, Gunther is not even the third most interesting person on Raw. Like, if you look at everybody on Raw, you got your Braun Breakers, you have your CM Punks, you have Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Dominic Mysterio, all these other guys, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, like, all of them are a lot better than Gunther. I had a friend say that Gunther should be on SmackDown, and I tend to agree with that. But before I get started, I need to put this thing in chat. Just 1 second here. of course, here we go with the comments. 92 comment. Room code. What is that? What is that? Ah, here we go. BS. If y'all want to join me on Jackbox Party, use that room code. I'm going to pin that. And let me go to some comments before I get this started. Jacob says, Oba wins the U.S. title in the future. Yeah, I think so. Because I think they're stalking there, and I still don't get the point of Oba winning from Ricky Starks. They could have just had Oba continue on. I don't like how they're treating Javon Evans in this whole title situation too, because if they're trying to get him to stand and deliver for Javon to win, then Javon shouldn't be taking these losses. I don't like that. And why did you waste the Iron Survivor on Javon Evans if you're just going to have him lose on NXT? Again, I don't know what Shawn Michaels be doing sometimes. Darius says, if you Triple H, and, you know, I could agree with that sentiment. Darius says, Cena deserves better. Yeah, I do think he should have went on a high note. Cena wasn't my favorite. I liked Edge more. But I don't think he deserved that. Happier Javier says, weak finish faces don't quit. Yeah, like, John Cena has always been never give up, never surrender. So why would he quit here? Like, I'd rather, somebody said that they could have been having John Cena do the Crimson Mask like Steve Austin did, like when Bret Hart had him in the sharpshooter submission and Steve Austin passed out and he was bloody but he didn't give up. Like, they could have did something like that. But then again, John Cena wouldn't have been able to talk afterwards, I guess. Jacob says, have you seen what Liv and Dom had posted on your social media today? Yeah, I did see Dom's, like, how his tribute to John Cena. I've seen Liv's, too. I do find it funny that a lot of Liv fans are upset that people are calling Grayson Waller Liv's man now. It's the whole Creed situation all over again. So I'm just staying out of that because my butt was been blistered because I called Roxanne's side chick. But you know what? I don't care. I stand behind that comment. Senora says Liv Dom is completely dead to me. I don't have the same interest in it anymore. I won't say that it's dead to me, but I'm looking at it sideways with how Liv is acting. And like, I can't get into it like I was, if that makes sense. Like last year coming up into this year, yeah, I could get into it, and if had Liv not been hurt and they continued like what they had been doing since like around Money in the Bank, then I would probably be more interested into it. But now I'm not as into it as it is, and right now I'm just living for the drama. Happier David says, why do you preserve Rockstorm, Senor? And Senor says, nope, I just want them going solo. Yeah, you can want Dom to go solo, but I don't think they'll do that because he's got too much money around him right now. And I posted the room code. And Jadarius says, I am so done with Triple H. He did not give Cena a speech. Like, really? Oh, he didn't? I kind of tuned it off, so that does not surprise me. You know, Triple H, I was really expecting Triple H to start off Saturday Night Main Event where we would have had like 10 minutes of him wasting my life with his speech, but we didn't get that. Happy Eric Davis says, I get what you're saying, but Triple H starts at booking and he wouldn't know what to do with the solo Dom and Liv. I mean, this is why I keep saying when people are just so sure that Dom and Liv are just going to be together forever, or at least for a while. I was like, no, this is the WWE. You cannot trust Triple H on anything. because he has proven, like tonight, and like when Dom lost the Intercontinental Championship the first time, and how the Judgment Day has reset again, and it's been, like at least 5 or 6 different times this year, then you can't trust Triple H for anything. And there's just way too many clues out there right now, too many seed plants to definitely say that Liv and Dom are going to last for a while. I can't even say, you can't say that right now. And right now, to be perfectly honest, you're almost at the end point timeline wise as relates to WWE relationships. Once you start hanging around that 2 year marks, it things have to, you either have to shit or get off the pot. And when I mean shit or get off the pot, it means that it's got to be either some kind of wedding in there or they break up. And you just, it's just that lifespan for relationships. Edge and Lita didn't last that long. Edge and Vicky Guerrero didn't last that long. I think they was like a year or so. Not familiar. Like, you don't have a lot of long-lasting relationships unless you're actually married, like a Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, or Aleister Black and Zelina Baker. Like, unless you're actually married to the person you're hooked up with on screen, then you're not going to last long. So, you can't trust Triple H for anything. Sometimes he just happens to get really, really lucky when it comes to, he gets really, really lucky when it comes to booking. But he also waits too fucking long to pull the trigger, and that's what happened with Liv and Dom. They waited way, 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 way too long to pull this trigger, and now I can't really see a Bonnie and Clyde. And to be perfectly honest, I'm gonna give y'all something to chew on. Are you seeing any kind of Bonnie, or think of it this way? Are you seeing any kind of Clyde from Dom right now? Are you seeing any kind of natural born killer from Dom right now? I'm seeing it from Liv, with the way she was talking with Raquel and Roxanne. But are we seeing anything from Dom? It's just something to think about. And that's for the point. It's a point I'm trying to make. I am working on a script for a character dive of Liv, because I do think she is following into a similar pattern to Rhea Ripley. And with Rhea Ripley, I think when I say she's following into the same patterns, I'm thinking they're going to follow what they should have done last year when it came to Rhea. Rhea just turned face because she's over, she's popular, and no matter what she does, she's just going, nobody's going to boo her. But with Liv, they can't really do that, so she's going to have to get brought down and brought back up to become an ultra babyface. I don't think Dom is going to be in that babyface discussion just yet. I know people say he gets cheered, but like as it has been indicated with John Cena, that man can turn cheers into boos on a dime. And I really don't think the WWE wants him as a face yet, especially with how everything is clogged up face-wise on the roster. You got your CM Punks, you got your Jey Usos, even though I think he might turn heel, but still, you still have popular people ahead of Dom that will get cheered unequivocally, and they won't just turn just because Dom does something. You know what I mean? XOXO says that's a fair point. I think the slap threw many people off in a way, but I, as a Dom fan, I have a YouTube comment I gotta comment on, but as a Dom fan, the slap didn't fit well because, like I said, one, I don't like when women hit guys, and the guy can't fight back, and two, as a Dom fan, we know we've gotten away from Dom getting hit with Rhea. Like, we just got away from that last year. We don't want to see that again. So when you see how Liv Dom slap Dom, it it doesn't sit right, especially because Dom didn't have an appropriate reaction to that. And by appropriate reaction, like if he was into it, like people say, quote unquote, Liv fans, if Dom was into it, there's certain ways he could have handled the slap. He could have been smirking after the slap. He could have grabbed Liv after the slap. He could have been doing a lot of other things instead of just Liv jumping into his arms, because that robbed a response from Dom. So we didn't have a reaction. So when you see Dom get slapped, all it does is just put into my mind and a lot of Dom fans' mind that, hey, you're just doing the whole Rhea thing again. And remember, Dom and Liv did not start off that way. It's one thing with Dom and Rhea because it started out that way. But with Liv and Dom, it didn't. So when you're just coming around and slapping, when we didn't have that, we didn't have a progression to a slap. You know, Dom getting slapped at Survivor Series is okay because it swerved John Cena and it got Dom his championship back. That's completely, understandable and excusable. We get it. It's a swerve, They were playing John Cena to get Dom the Intercontinental Championship back. But for Liv just to come around and just slap him, we didn't have that progression in their relationship for a slap. It's not like we saw them ratchet up the physicality to get to a point of a slap where it was acceptable. You know what I mean? So when Liv slapped Dom, you don't like it, or at least Dom fans don't like it. And at the time of the slap, like a lot of people said in my chat at the time, you can't claim that Dom likes it, was into it, or he was smiling because of it, because that was the same excuses Rhea and Dom fans had last year. That's the sticky point. Liv and Dom, if you're gonna say the excuse of, well, and they want to say it's consent now, but still, Dom smiled when he got slapped. Okay, he got slapped. He smiled when he got his hair pulled last year too. You see what I mean? It's the same argument. Nothing has changed argument-wise. The only thing I've seen different is consent, but again, that's another thing that they were saying last year. Dom's into it. He likes doing this. He likes doing that. So nothing's changed. Had we not had that slap, I think it would have been okay. You could have had Liv and Dom separated, and then Judgment Day separating, doing their own thing too, and we could have progressed them. But that slap put a lot of people on edge, myself included. I just don't like it. Jacob says, are you going to be reviewing AAA shows for next week? Yes, I am. Especially since Penta has, through his love for Dominic, recovered himself. Happier Xavier says, I think Liv Dom Raquel should be for a while and help Roxy become a huge superstar, being Dom's side girlfriend. Like, I do think that's what's going to happen. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Finn and JD, because Dom and Finn, it seemed like they have reset to being best buddies again. See, that's that whole Triple H booking bullshit. Like, we were progressing where there was tension, and now there's not. And they might pick it up again next year, but still, we've reset. And so are we gonna reset again with the tension? But I don't know. But as I said, we might be getting those Dom's Angels, and what I have been saying this whole year, we could go with Dom's Angels. We could have had La Familia with Liv and Raquel and Dom. With Roxanne, you could get Dom's Angels with Liv, Raquel, Dom, and Roxanne. Now, it remains to be seen if they're going to be doing any kind of Dom Rocks. I think they are, because that would be a nice progression from feuds for Liv, especially if they want to turn her face. Now, I know some Dom fans are exhausted with Dom being used that way, but if they want him to go Eddie Guerrero, then that's what they're going to do. We can't stop that. But if you do go with Dom Rocks, you can have that on the later part of the feud with Liv and Raquel. See, this is how my timeline is. You have Liv and Raquel having their tensions, and then Liv is pulling Roxanne to her side to be the new best buddy, the new sister. Now, of course, she's probably thinking about Finn, how she brought Roxanne in for Dom, and remember that Roxanne is still giving Dom the eyes because every time you take a picture of Roxanne, she's looking at Dom when they're around each other, so it's still there. Um, so you do have Liv and Roxanne possibly becoming best buddies, and when the feud kicks off between Liv and Raquel, it's going to be Roxanne choosing Liv over Raquel. So and then that feud will keep going until it finishes and goes into that conclusion. Now, once that feud is over with, you're going to have Liv and Roxanne, and then that's probably when Dom gets thrown back into the storyline. We don't know if it's going to be something secretive. We don't know if it's going to be something blatant, but I do think that's going to get teased. It remains to be seen if it's like a will they or won't they, or they're sneaking around, or it's not what it looks like. We don't know. There's a whole bunch of different possibilities there. But I find it interesting that a lot of Liv fans are now, liking Roxanne to be Liv's sister, and they're calling, think Raquel's fake. I really don't get that argument with Raquel right now. Like, Raquel did call dibs first when it comes to the championship. Liv just showed back up, so I'm not sure why Raquel should be stepping aside for Liv when Liv was the one that stepped on her toes by trying to push her back into the tag team division. But I digress. So, like I said, I find it funny that they are wanting Roxanne as the new sister, but remember, if you're any kind of writing subplot and cliche and trope, is the best friend that sneaks in on you while when you're preoccupied. And I think that's one way that can go. Liv thinks she has her new bestie secured and doing what she wants, but Roxanne is going behind her back with Dom. And that's a classic trope. And I'm not talking wrestling trope. I'm just talking writing tropes in general. And by the time Liz finds out about it, that's when she has a hard crash and fall, and that's where you get your baby face. On YouTube, Dime Jar says Cena deserves the loss just for that haircut alone. I mean, you have to be nice to John Cena. He's losing his hair. I think he's got hair plugs now. Did I just get a? Did I just get something? I think I just got something. I don't know what though. What did I just get? My sounder go off and I didn't know what I got. Oh, it might help to actually have my headphones on, Ryder Raven. Jeez. Let's see. What did I just get? Let's see here. Okay, I don't know what I just got, but I got something. Whoever it is, thank you though. Okay. Champion Jerry says, even Raquel could be a female priest. She can, but I don't want her in the bodyguard role. Like, I've been rooting for Big Mommy Cool for a while. And I really don't like how people have been just so on Raquel's neck for a while that no matter what she does, she's in the wrong, and that's why I've been like in her defending her for a while. Um, so I don't want her in that bodyguard role. She's been in the role, like people were already saying that she was bad for not getting a good bodyguard, even though nobody's a really good bodyguard when Rhea is concerned. So that's not her fault. But I don't want her back in that role. She needs to be on her own. She's getting her own autonomy. She shouldn't be in Liv's shadow. She's been in it for a long time. Jacob says, when do you think Liv will return for the ring for a match? Probably next year, probably Royal Rumble. WJW says Dom Angels. Yep, I called that like a few months ago. I don't know if anybody's joined this year. I might just start this on my own if somebody can join it later. But let's see. I do have that ring code there. If you go to Jackbox TV, you can put in a code. I have it pinned in the chat in TikTok, but you can see it on YouTube right now. Happier Javier says, Liv Don McQuell should always be fighting like siblings for entertainment, but not breaking up for a while. I mean, they could do that too. I mean, not everything needs a breakup. I know people are exhausted of Judgment Day, but to be honest, I actually like it when they actually work well and they're just irritating everybody else. So I like it when they just start doing their own thing and they're happy and they're clicking and all that. Like that's my personal preference for Judgment Day. Jacob says, how do you think that face-to-face with Liv and El Grande Americana will go? Now, that is the linchpin. That's the litmus test for Liv. Because, as we know, El Grande Americano is not being the allegation when it comes to Dom. So, we need to see how Liv reacts to El Grande Americano. Now, Liv was around when the first El Grande Americano Uno, she was Chad Gable. So she was around that one, or she knew that inception of him. But this El Grande Americano is Ludwig. So we need to see how she reacts to Ludwig. Because Ludwig has taken El Grande Americano's character a completely different direction than Chad Gable's. So we need to see how she reacts. And me personally, I do think we will see like what Rhea did when Dom bought Santos Escobar and El Andrade to the clubhouse, which was not liking it. And I think that'll just show like another big crack there with Judgment Day, or even between Liv and Dom. Because, anybody that Dom brings into that clubhouse, somebody has a problem with it. I don't expect that to change. I have my friend says that, she might accept El Grande Americano, but I really don't think so. I think they're going to continue that tradition of not liking El Grande in the clubhouse, and he's probably going to be wearing that purple because that's what he wore the last time Santos was in the clubhouse as well. It's like some sort of purple. It'd be interesting to see if that happens tomorrow. I'm not sure if Liv is going to, not tomorrow, Monday. I'm not sure if Liv will be back. I know she's over there in Saudi Arabia right now. I'm not sure if she's going to be back, but it'll be interesting to see that interaction. Let's see. Shadow says Randy Orton shouldn't have been his final opponent, or at least been there. Yeah, like I don't get why Randy Orton wasn't there. Those are wrestling soulmates that should have been there. Edge should have been there, but he's over there in AEW now. They had Wade Barrett there. But yeah. I don't think anybody gonna join us. I might just start. You know what? I think I'm gonna start another game. Where's my last holiday game? I'm gonna start that. If anybody wants to join it, I'll join it back. But I'm gonna exit this right now. So. Yeah, man. So let's go to last holiday. Or not last holiday, last Horizon. Alright. Oh, this thing. Where is the credits option? Let me turn down the music. Because music is always super, super loud. Alright, so I'm going to start that. And I am going to do this. One moment. Oh, were you cursing, D-Jack? No worries. I think I have an overzealous, mod thing there, but cursing is fine. I don't mind it as long as you're not hateful with it. They says it was good at one point, but the storytelling and John smiling at the end and then tapped out. Yeah, like I don't think a lot of people like, and I myself included, not a lot of people like just the way it ended. Come on. And why aren't you? Just go grab it. Hold on. I need to do something real quick. But yeah, the ending. It's Cena. Like I said, Gunther is not the guy. He is not the guy. Is he a good wrestler? Yeah, but as somebody that you want to see continuously retiring somebody, no. Okay, so let me see. Capture a specific window. And of course, it doesn't want to capture it. Let's see. Alright, so let me go. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. Jacob says, in a few years, do you see the Judgment Day into the WWE Hall of Fame? Yeah. Probably all iterations of it. We'll probably have Edge. We'll probably have Rhea. We'll probably have Damian, Dom, Finn, JD. Everybody will be in there at one point or another. Probably all iterations. Senor says, what about if Liv brings Gable back and feuding with Kaiser? Now, that would be interesting, too, because Dom has established this really good buddy-buddy, almost to the point of El Grande Americano Ludwig edition, not beating the allegations. So if she does bring back Gable, that would be interesting. Like, you know, she brings like Gable's El Grande Americano into the clubhouse, and Dom is like, "What?" You know, that would be interesting. Even and I think even Finn would be like, "What? You know, this is not the El Grande that we've been, you know, dealing with." Finn has been really interesting. I would like to know if he will still continue to be a demented demon or try to start back being a demented demon, or if he just mellows back into a stepdaddy role. I kind of want him to be the stepdaddy role because I think he does better as a face. So it could be something like where Finn is just pointing out things, and then he'll just go, tries to help Dom with Liv, but Dom rejects it at first, and then that's how we get that view going. Oh, look, it's Overflow. What is up?
Hug.
Hug. Where's your sister? Upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, DJ. Yeah, I was seeing that too. Sorry. Yeah. So let me go on to start last part. I was gonna do Jackbox, but nobody's really joining, so I am gonna do this. And then if somebody wants to do Jackbox, I'll start that back up again. So. I actually played a lot more offline, and now I know what to do. Don't tell me I didn't save it. Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. Hey, Overflow.
She's an excellent driver. Kim!
Yeah?
Hit the brakes!
Are you crazy?
She's got a point. Kim!
Yeah?
Drive faster!
Okay.
Kim! The brakes!
Okay, whatever you say. Everything okay?
Yeah! Hurry up! Kim, we can't lead these guys to the airport. We've got to lose them.
But I know! Suggestions?
Stay on this road. I'll get rid of them.
Jacob says, how do you feel about AAA having a TV deal? I'm happy for them. They do need to have the, they do need a TV deal, and WWE did help with that.
The fireworks crate.
So
It's locked.
I'm glad they are for them. I know some people really wanting Liv to go for Rena de Rena, and I agree that she could go for Rena de Rena, but I need Flammer, Krabby Apache, Natty, Lola Bites, and Las Toxicas to finish their feud before Liv gets interjected into any feud right now.
An oil-smeared tarpaulin. Looks like there's some engine parts underneath. It's far too heavy.
Bless you.
That piece of glass broke out of the windshield when the Chevrolet crashed. The glass is too far away. I really don't need to get shot trying to reach it.
It's a cigar lighter.
Yeah, I think I could use that to pull the piece of glass towards me. Whoa. Somehow he missed me, but shot the bamboo clean in half.
Senior says, is AAA the new ECW?
An oil-smeared tarpaulin. Looks like there's some engine parts underneath.
It could be.
It's locked. I'll take a few rockets out. tight fit, but it's a good one. The glass is too far away. Well, it's still long enough to try again.
It could be the delay. Could be. I'm not sure though. I think they're getting treated better than TNA, but TNA isn't owned by the WWE.
I cut off a small piece of tarpaulin. I'll wrap the rag around the end.
Animations on this game kill me.
I've lit the end of the pole. Perhaps not the best course of action in an enclosed space, but as far as Paddock's concerned, fire makes any situation more exciting.
Open fire.
Idiot, can't you see that they are getting away? What are you waiting for? Put your foot down!
The engine's dead, boss.
Oh, don't.
Oh,
Cena
no.
says, don't forget the Raw
Oh,
preview.
damn it.
They really hasn't. Judgment Day. They didn't really announce anything. Judgment
Well,
Day
we lost them for now, but they won't be far behind.
Then you haven't got long to fill me in, have you? What's going on?
You have to leave Hong Kong, Kim. The Tong Triad wants your uncle's notes, and they're not known for asking nicely.
What do they want them for?
I don't know. Yet. But you have to trust me.
Trust you? And how am I supposed to do that? You disappear for over a year and then turn up on my doorstep like nothing's changed.
Kim, forget about that for 5 seconds. You're not safe here.
And where do you suggest I go? I haven't learned to disappear into thin air since we last met.
Don't worry, my plane's fueled up and ready. We can leave straight away.
In your plane. And just where do you suggest we go?
Well, I have some things to take care of in Tibet. You could come with me.
You're out of your mind! Until you tell me what's going on, I'm staying right here.
We don't have time for this. Come with me and I'll explain on the way.
I can't come with you. What am I supposed to do in Tibet?
Damn it, they're on their way here right now. Kimmy, either you get into the plane voluntarily or I'm going to bundle you into the cargo hold.
But it's ice cold in there. I don't even have any stuff. Sweater, makeup, toothbrush.
I've got stuff. Have it all if you like.
Well, I'll have a sweater. You can keep your toothbrush.
Whatever. Get moving.
Senior says, don't forget the Raw preview. And the only thing really of interest right now is Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. That got announced yesterday on SmackDown.
So, Fenton,
I'm not
I suppose
sure
we're safe now?
if it's going to be
Yes.
stuff.
Yes, I'd
assume
say we
there
are.
I'm
Good.
kinda hoping we get,
Time
like,
to
a-
tell me your side of the
I
story.
hope we
Okay,
get, like,
okay.
a contract signing. We didn't get
What do you
that
want to know?
With,
Where should I
Nikki
start?
And Stephanie.
Was it your fault that the dock workers died?
So
I was
kinda
officer in
hope we
command
get,
that evening. The situation was getting out of hand.
some kind of contract.
The workers
signing,
got violent,
that maybe
throwing
we
things.
get something
That's
more
why we wanted to
bonding
pull out.
between,
Nobody was supposed to get hurt.
Roxanne and Liv, so
I was about to get everyone withdrawn when Richard went down. A few of the dock workers dived on him. It was a split-second decision. I stayed, ran over to Richard. God knows.
Senora says, how about the holiday tour? Oh, it's going to be Ray and Rhea versus Dom and Liv. And Ray is still not beating the allegations because how the heck are you going to team up with Rhea Ripley? It makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know what Roxanne or Raquel are going to be doing, but I do know that that match was announced. So I was like, Ray Ray, you're not beating the allegations, buddy.
What they would have done to him. Then things really got out of hand. Part of my unit followed me, and I suppose the workers thought we wanted to break them up. So they attacked us.
What happened next?
One of my men opened fire. You get bad orders, you lose your nerve. It happens. Everyone started shooting into the crowd. I tried to call a ceasefire. 8 people died before I did. I should have left Richard behind.
What?
1 life versus 8. Easy maths.
You can't weigh one life against another. It's not how it works.
How kind of you. So now you're on my side. It was my job to know things might get out of hand. I had an order and I ignored it. We were explicitly told to withdraw to prevent people getting killed.
Fenton, that is so... I don't know. If you hadn't been there to help Richard, he would have been killed, and...
I know, Kim, and I don't regret having saved Richard's life. But I'm not proud of what I did. Those 8 men. Their families. That day is burnt into the back of my mind.
You mean being discharged from the army?
Yes. Among other things.
But if all that's true, then it was just an accident. Didn't it count for anything that you saved the life of the governor's son?
Richard was supposed to be kept out of it all. You never know what people might start saying if they knew he was there. Richard pulled all the strings he could to keep me out of prison.
Oh, sorry, I keep clicking out of it.
I owe him everything. Other people wanted to see my head roll afterwards. The Empire had to find a way to appease the Chinese population, so the person responsible was dishonorably discharged from His Majesty's service. And I accept that decision. In spite of the circumstances, I had a job to do and I failed. Richard and his unit were deployed in northern India soon after. We've hardly seen each other since.
Fenton,
Yes?
why didn't you tell us about all this? Did you really think we wouldn't believe you?
Who knows?
But...
The men who were shot were your people. I guess I figured it would change things between us.
you could have trusted us. My uncle missed you.
And?
Oh, nothing. So, why don't you tell me what we're doing in Tibet?
Curiosity killed the cat, you know.
Well, we've cheated death several times in the last few hours, so I reckon we're on a roll. Anyway, you promised you'd tell me.
Okay. Richard needs my help again. The irony of fate. He disappeared on an expedition. No trace of him or his men for weeks, but it's all top secret. So Lord Weston asked me to go after him. Unofficially. He knows I'd do anything for Richard.
And?
I'll be right
What does all that have to do with my uncle's maps?
Obviously, Richard used them to plan his route. That's why I'm hoping the maps will help me find him.
And the Triads? Are they looking for Richard too?
I don't think so. But it can't be coincidence.
So, what do you want to do next?
Well, we're almost there. I'll drop you off in Katang before I start. You'll find a few decent hostels there. I guess I'll be gone 2 or 3 weeks. Once winter hits, I won't be able to cross the mountains. If I haven't found Richard by then...
Wait. Did I miss something? You're dropping me off in Pawang?
Katang!
Whatever, I'm not going. I'm not gonna wait in some dump in the middle of nowhere for you to ride in on your high horse and rescue me a month down the line.
Fine. What do you suggest? You're not coming with me? To say you're unprepared would be an understatement.
Well, that's not what I was saying. I just don't want to be left behind in some mountain village. There must be some larger city en route, right?
No, we're talking about Tibet. The only other option would be Lhasa, but that's too far out of the way. You're staying in Katang until I get back.
I'm sorry. Maybe you didn't notice, but it's been quite a while since we last saw each other. I'm not a little girl anymore. And you can't push me around like you used to.
I'm sorry, Kim. I just don't want to drag you into all this any further. The last time I tried to help Richard, things didn't go too well. I don't want that to happen again. You understand? Really, it's better this way.
Great, and what am I supposed to do while you're gone? Yak herding? Every little girl's dream. What if some...
Okay, so let me see something. You. Okay.
something happens to you, I'll be stuck there forever. Or at least until some other thoughtless, gung-ho pilot accidentally strays this way and picks me up.
Kim, duck! Damn it!
Did he just shoot at us?
A German fighter plane?
He just shot at us! I can't believe it!
What's he doing in Tibet?
I couldn't care less. He shot at us. He actually just shot at us. Shoot back!
What?
You know, shoot back. Machine guns, cannons.
I deliver sacks of rice to Kathmandu for a living. This is a cargo plane, not a war machine, and therefore, no, it does not have any weapons on board.
You're telling me we have no way of defending ourselves?
I didn't say that. Take the controls. I'm going to the back to take care of our little friend.
Okay, Fenton, think.
Plan.
Think of a plan. Plan.
Senior says, why Raquel and Roxanne teamed up with New Day instead of Judgment Day? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with JD. I know Dom doesn't work everything, and he's the champ, so he doesn't have to work everything, but they could have worked with Finn and JD, but I'm not sure what's going on with JD. Hopefully he's not injured or anything. He's just taking some time off. Senior said, did you forget the ship between Liv and Julius? No, and that's why I was cackling when Liv fans started having problem with Grayson Waller being brought up. So I'm like, y'all just don't like anybody, like, just jokingly mentioning, like, Liv being with somebody else. You know, first it was Creed, and then now it's Grayson Waller. I'm like, you know, when I had the joke about Roxanne being the side chick, I was just joking because Netflix themselves put up Dominic being happy about Liv and Roxanne. So, like, how are you going to get mad at me, but it was Netflix that put the comment out there? You see what I mean? Like, good grief, you know, it's just rabbit. And like I said, that's why I was saying, like, I'm going to exit fandom wise and just be strictly a wrestling commentator, because I can't do this shit anymore. It gets to a point where if you step out of line, then they have problems with you bringing up something. And I was just saying, like, hey, this is where I think the storyline goes. Hey, we still might get some kind of form of Dom Rocks. I'm not saying it's going to particularly happen, but it could happen where, you know, we have many different possibilities happening with Dom Rocks. And, you know, they just had a fit about it. I had people unfollow me on the X, but it's fine. I'm regaining those followers back, so I really don't care. You know, you don't have to follow me. Oba Femi says, how do you deal with all the weirdos that hate you on the X? I don't know. I think they really got into their feelings about Liv and Dom, and just because I'm saying something that really hurt about it, but maybe I kind of think they're scared, to be honest. Because, like I said, I'm the one before anybody else that called Liv and Dom way back in April of last year. I'm not trying to brag. That's just how it happened. I called it, and it happened. So maybe they're scared that maybe what I'm saying about Dom Rocks will come to pass. I'm like, and if it does, it does. It's wrestling. Wrestling operates on drama and messiness and nastiness. I mean, any kind of drama would be probably better than this John Cena shit on the retirement tour right now. So, you know, maybe they're scared that maybe it'll come to pass. But I do think they're really enmeshed with it, because I have no dog and pony in this game. I'm a Dom fan. You know, whatever Dom does, I support him in his rights and his wrongs. But it doesn't mean that I won't call him out. And they really didn't like me calling out Liv. Like I said Liv, hey Liv, you're stepping on Raquel's toes, and they had a problem with me saying that. I'm like, why am I supposed to just agree with Liv about Raquel? And besides that, they were saying, well, Liv was, she needed her rematch. I'm like, her rematch was supposed to be against Rhea. She never asked for it. And then she was going to set up to be a challenger for Io, but that didn't happen due to her injury. So that didn't happen. And then the title has changed hand 2 times after that, with going from Naomi to Stephanie McCure. So she has no claim to any kind of rematch for the world title right now. If she starts doing that, she'll be just like Rhea. And you remember how we all bitched and complain about how Rhea would just automatically get a title shot whenever she got back, even though she has no claim to said title. She would always say that I never lost the title. Well, Liv lost the title. She should have claimed her rematch against Rhea Ripley. Barring that, when Io was there, she should have been challenging Io for it. But the title has changed hand twice since then. She has no claim against Stephanie McCure. Sorry, not sorry. So I can't blame Raquel for being miffed about trying to be pushed into the tag team division when she had already talked to Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce. And see, that's the main thing. Raquel talked to Scrap Daddy about the title. She had already made a claim to said title, or wanting another title shot. And there's no problem with her making a title shot, even though she lost, because Nikki lost, and she's still trying to get after Stephanie McCure. So why is it losing now all of a sudden disqualifies you from a title shot? That happened with Liv. She was losing. Like, anybody can claim for a title at this point, despite their wins and losses. So, they can a lot of these people can just settle their kettle regarding that, if they hate me, they hate me, but I'm not going to back down, because I think that Liv was in the wrong. And like I said, I have called out every member of the Judgment Day, everybody, including Dom. When he set up JD for Rusev, I called him out. I called out Raquel for calling Dom a habitual cheater. Now, I do think that's still a double meaning there, but I called her out. I've called out Roxanne when she, was stealing like wins against Liv back, months ago. I've been calling out Finn, for being a demented demon. I called out JD for not having Dom's back, because Dom has always had his back. I've called out everybody. So like I said, they need to just settle their kettle and sit down somewhere. I'm not going to bend just because you think Liv deserves all this shit. Do I think Liv deserves another title run? Yeah, but, the way she's going about it, kayfabe-wise and storyline-wise, I ain't with it, especially when she is stepping on Raquel's toes. I mean, Raquel and Roxanne have been holding it down. I would have a problem, if I'm going to have a problem with Rhea coming back and asking for a title, then I'm going to have a problem with Liv coming back and asking for a title. Especially when she didn't have said title. At least with Rhea, she could claim that she had the title and was forced to give it up when she was going after Liv all that time. Liv does not have that excuse. Jacob says, other than Finn, who do you see taking the IC title from Dom? I wanted Ilya, but I really don't want it to be Logan Paul, because Logan Paul sucks ass. So I don't know. Push come to shove, I would rather have Bronson Reed. Seriously. If it's not Bronson, then I would say who else? I would even say Dragon Lee. Like, if they want to shift it over to Dragon Lee, I wouldn't mind that. That's somebody that's going to be around Dom for a while. Cena said, do you want to see Dom screaming to live? I don't want to see that just yet. Like, if they were going to do Bonnie and... It depends on the context. Like, if they're going to be doing Bonnie and Clyde and stuff like that, I really don't want to see that screaming because, like I said, when I imagine Bonnie and Clyde, I want them to be sweet to each other but menaces to other people. That's what I was imagining. So, I want to see them... So, I don't want Dom screaming. That's why I had a huge problem with Liv slapping Dom, other than like Liv and hitting men. Like, I had a huge problem with that. But if it's just like towards the end where Dom just pretty much says that am I getting these? I'm hearing these dinks, and I'm not sure where they're coming from. Who is sending me stuff? If it's just Dom screaming at Liv, I kind of wanted to come out like he was, he's aware that Liv was using her, because I do think there's going to be something where, it's probably going to be revealed that Dom never really did get over Liv saying that she used him. He got Liv because he wanted to get away from Rhea, but maybe, push comes to shove, like towards the end, Dom is screaming at her like saying, hey, you used me to get to Rhea, and I never forgot that. And I don't know what that is from Kick right now. Jacob says, what about LA Knight with the IC title? I mean, he could, but I think LA Knight should be going for some world titles at this point. Alright. Let's see.
The German Messerschmitt. What are they doing here? More importantly, why is it attacking us? These pumpkins were going to Shanghai, but maybe I can get a better price here. Even if they are so old they're hollow. That's capitalism, baby. I'll take one with me. Well, we've got no shortage of pumpkins. Have some of this. A hit. Now, if only my ammunition were tracer bullets rather than pumpkins. They're just not heavy enough. We need to shift this guy. Fast. Flour? Thanks, Gus. Only one parachute. But at least if we find some milk, yeast and eggs, we can whip up a tasty loaf. This canister contains distilled water for the hydraulic system. The parachute, a pilot's best friend. Best not let on I've only got the one. The parachute was attached to this bolt. I'll take one with me. We've got some holes in this baby now. If I add butter and egg... Okay, I can pour some flour through the holes. Okay, I'll add a little more water. With best regards from His Majesty.
Fenton, the plane is on fire! We're on fire!
Oh no! He hit the starboard engine! Don't panic! I'll switch it off and try to stabilize us.
You can fly with one engine?
This baby's got 3, which means we've got 2 left. But don't worry, I'm an expert at emergency landings. Crap! I've never tried it with only one wing before. There's a field over there. I'm taking us down. Hold on tight!
Fenton!
It had better be important, Lieutenant.
Indeed. Our contact in Hong Kong has reported back.
Continue.
It looks like the cartographer's records have disappeared.
What do you mean? Disappeared to where? And what about the cartographer?
He died just recently, only a few days after passing on copies of his maps to the British Recon Unit.
And the originals? Someone must have them.
The men we've assigned to the job assume the originals are in the hands of the cartographer's niece. Unfortunately, they were not able to reach the girl because a former soldier is protecting her.
Better and better. If you want something done, do it yourself.
In any event, the girl and the soldier were able to escape.
I am somewhat disappointed, Lieutenant. But very well. We will continue reasonably. Who is this soldier? Why might he need the maps? What kind of threat is he to us? Collect all the information you can on him and the girl. I will be flying to Berlin for a week. I expect answers when I return.
Jawohl.
Anything else, Lieutenant?
One of our recon aircraft is missing. It was on routine surveillance this morning and hasn't returned. I suggest sending out a search unit.
Yes, do so. If the machine has crashed, you must find the pilot as well as the aircraft. Get rid of any traces that might lead to our camp.
It will mean the majority of the men being sent out.
Yes. I emphasize once again. Find the crashed aircraft and eliminate all tracks leading to us. Our mission must remain confidential at all costs until we have opened the chamber in the monastery. After that, we will not need to hide from anyone ever again.
Let's see. Jacob says, do you see Judgment Day going after all the titles in AAA or not? I don't know. I think it would have been interesting if JD went after the Latin American Championship after Ethan Page, because I really don't want Ethan Page to have the Latin American Championship.
Kim? Kimmy? Can you hear me? Kim, please say something!
Damn it. I need to get up there fast.
Let me pause that for a second. I might make that end right there. What was I doing? Ah, here we go. Let's see. And let's see here. anybody hear if there's anything else from Judgment Day for Monday Night Raw other than Logan Paul versus Ray? Let's see. Did this thing just delist? Wow, okay. Of course. Okay. I don't think there's anything else regarding Judgment Day. Okay, so come on. I think I might end it at this note here, at least for the game. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Come on, download, are you? Oh boy. Catherine, stop that. And of course it doesn't want to download. Okay, so I don't think there's anything else with Judgment Day coming up on Monday unless we get the Scrap Daddy announcement tomorrow. And I would suspect is if we get something major, I might be back tomorrow night to kind of talk about it. But other than that, I probably won't. It'll probably be Monday. Let's see, going into 2026, I do think I am going to be streamlining up a lot of things. So, this is what I've been going to have on my schedule. So, this is what I'm planning. So, Monday, we have the Monday Night Raw review. Tuesday is when the review goes up on YouTube if you want to look at it and listen to it on Spotify. I'm going to be posting shorts from that review on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Q&A from when I do answer y'all's questions from the TikTok Live, that's probably going to be maybe Wednesday too on Spotify. Thursday, that's going to be deep dives. My first deep dive is going to be Liv Morgan and how I think her mask is slipping. Thank you, TTJC, for that. So I'm going to be doing my first in a series of deep dives regarding the Judgment Day storyline. So it's going to be Liv Morgan, how I think her mask is slipping. I'm thinking how she is acting like Rhea Ripley. And just kind of going over what's been going on since her return. That's going to go on Thursday because I'm waiting for Monday to see if anything else happens that's significant before I add to it, because I do have a good amount of material already. But that's going to be Thursdays, Fridays, depending on what is going on. It is open. I'm probably just going to be answering questions on my Not Gonna Lie, on the X and Instagram and things like that. So Fridays are open, depending on that. Saturdays, every other Saturday is a game night like tonight. I want to do that a little bit more, but right now right now the way my schedule is, it's got to be every other Saturday. Saturday is also PLE, so if something significant with Judgment Day happens, I will review it after that, and that'll be like our special TikTok live with the review going up on Sunday. And then Sunday, if time allows, I'll do a review if it's significant or not. If it's not going to be something significant regarding Judgment Day or they don't announce anything, I'm not going to do anything on Sunday, so that's kind of like an open day. But yeah, that's the schedule. That's what I'm going to be trying to keep to. I'm going to be trying to keep all of my accounts busy, which means that's going to be TikTok, that's going to be YouTube, that's going to be Instagram, that's going to be Threads, that's going to be the X, that's going to be Spotify, and my podcast website. So your girl's going to try and stay busy all next year. I'm coming up on my 2nd year anniversary of Wrestling Receipts. I thank y'all all for helping me with my view counts and pushing it up, and y'all have been amazing, and I really appreciate you. And especially those have been sticking around for me for coming up on 2 years now. Jacob says, outside of the Judgment Day, what do you expect for Raw? Probably something Braun Breaker, probably something Rey Mysterio. Oh, speaking of Rey Mysterio, Sun Ra Sapp said, and take with a grain of salt, that there really hasn't been any kind of inkling that Rey Mysterio is on the verge of retirement. So we may not be getting any kind of Dom versus Rey retirement match anytime soon. You know, people keep thinking it's going to be WrestleMania or something like that, but it may not happen that way. Other than that, we probably will have something regarding the women's tags. It depends on how Liv is. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if Liv is cleared or not. But if she is cleared, she might be in the tag team tournament. Roxanne could do all the work if they want to ease her back into competition. So they could have like them in the tag team match and then see if they win or not. I really don't think they will, but we'll see. But I do think there's going to be some kind of tag team thing here. I kind of want to see like Zelina be pissed off about losing on Friday and then just like randomly pop up on Raw to be after Rhea, cause some shit with Rhea, maybe Io there. That would be funny to me. I think the New Day is it the New Day with the Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, or it could be somebody else. Maybe that's when we see Finn and JD step back up to Dragon Lee and AJ Styles for the men's tag, but I don't know. But yeah, I don't really think there's a lot going on. I think it's gonna. I know CM Punk returns, and I guess he's going to be addressing Braun Breaker. But that's about it. Let me save that. So right there. So yeah, I think that's it for tonight. This was John Cena's retirement. It kind of went over like a wet fart, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting with the whole John Cena thing. I was hoping he was going out on a high note, but he didn't, and now we gotta deal with Gunther's. You gotta probably hear Gunther's lame ass on Monday too, so oh, here's something I hadn't really discussed. Have y'all noticed that we're back down to one Dom segment now? And I know it really pissed off about that. I think Senor said something about this where it just seems like things went back down Dom ways. Not like, see, this is what I was afraid of when Liv came back. This is why I wanted Dom to have and win the Mega Championship pretty much by himself without Liv around. because we're now back in the same situation when he won the Intercontinental Championship the first time, which is being back on just back in backstage damage, not doing anything. Now, granted, Jones has to set up for he's got to set up for his next challenger, but still, you would expect Dom to be around, and we're not getting that. Also, this would probably been the point to have Dom around Liv, Roxanne, and Raquel when it comes for tag. Like, I know people always bitch about Dom he's involved with the women's division. Yeah. But this would have been a point to have him around. This would have been a point to have Finn and JD around, kind of supporting. If you want to have the guys take a back seat to the women, because Roxanne and Raquel do need to be built up with Liv. This has probably been the point where Dom, Finn, and JD should have been like in supportive roles to the women, like helping them out, being around. So we could have seen like JD, Finn, and Dom like around like for the tag, just around causing distractions, things like that. That's something I kind of would want to see happen on Monday. So like if you have Raquel and Stephanie Vakir doing this signing, then I kind of want all of Judgment Day to be around Raquel, quote unquote, supporting her. Now, Liv can be fake about it, and people really didn't like that I was calling her fake, but you can have Judgment Day around Raquel supporting her. You see what I mean? If you're going to have, you putting the guys backseat to the women right now, have Judgment Day around Raquel supporting her, and then like for these tag matches, have Dom, Finn, and JD out there. If you don't want to have Dom out there, have Finn and JD out there. Do something like that. But I think we do need to have more stuff regarding Dom. I don't want to go from Dom, Finn, and JD being all over Raw these past couple of months to just down to like one backstage Judgment Day Clubhouse segment. And that was my fear when Liv was going to return. And I keep getting notifications, and I don't know where the code notifications are. Let's see. Oh, JD posted something. And I think that is it. I wanted to do Jackbox, but nobody was really joining, so I might try that again later. I gotta get the hang of this thing again. Actually, I want to get like Murder Mystery Party. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Play that one. I will see you guys either tomorrow on Sunday, or I will see y'all back here on Monday for the Monday Night Raw review on TikTok. And then we'll see if things continue with Liv, if she's still trying to be buddy with Roxanne, if she's still trying to step on Raquel's toes. We gotta see if Dom does anything. We gotta see if Finn does anything. We gotta see if JD does anything. We need to go see if El Grande Americano comes over and professes his love for Dom. Things like that. But until next time, I bid y'all all adieu. Thank y'all all for joining me. It's been fun. I didn't really do much tonight, but my TikTok live thing didn't want to act right, so I had to do something different. But until next time, I bid you all adieu. I thank y'all all for joining me. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye for now.